So let's go through everything now. We're going to review on the US stock side futures and currencies, the TNTs. So these are TNTs are these black bars that we show you on the weekly time frame that represent support resistance. The highs and lows of them represent them. But the key thing is that they do forecasting. It tells you that something's going to happen on the next bar. Which way do you bet on? Well, if it has a green background, a green shade, you bet on it going higher. If it has a red background, red shade, you bet on it going lower. It's as simple as that. So we're going to keep things simple here, and let's start going through the list and go from there. Okay, so here's the list over here. And remember, we're looking for a shade. Don't worry about the current bar because next week's already started. So we're going to look at this bar here. This bar here had no shade, no shade, no trade. But if you did enter this here, you were profitable. This one had a shade here, so this one you would enter. However, the entry was up here. So in realistic terms, it really didn't get to the entry at all. So this is, you don't want to enter an opening gap. You want it to open, then come back and fill it, and then enter if it ever gaps on you. So in this situation here, even though this looks successful from the it's really a trade that you did not enter at all. CSX here, this is a trade we did enter here. It had a shade. We entered below a couple of points below the low right there. At the end of the week, it was profitable. So this is one profitable trade. Over here, this is another trade here, had a shade. We entered a couple of points below the previous week low. And at the end of the week, it was profitable. That's two profitable trades. Here, this had a red shade here. We entered a couple of points below the low. This was profitable at the end of the week, so that's three profitable trades. Here's Euro USD. This was bearish here. It really didn't enter at all, which is this blue dot right there, so there's no trade. This is Yum Foods. Last week right there was a TNT. It did not break the low at all right there, so there's no trade. Valero, VLO. It's loading. We did enter right here. It was profitable at the end of the trade. So that's about three. I think that's three. Maybe off. Over here, this gap down. It filled the gap, but did not come back to the entry. So this is a situation here. Even though it looks good, we still did not enter this trade because it gapped down, went lower, then came up above the previous bar low, and then it never came back to our entries, which is what we look for in gap trades. So there's no trade there. DGX over here. This is a trade that we did enter here, and we did take a loss on this trade here. So that's basically 4 wins, 1 loss. Over here, there's no entry. Over here, there was an entry. It was profitable. So that's 5 wins, 1 loss. Over here, this gap down, went further, came up here, never came back to the entry at all. So we're still at 4 wins, 1 loss. That did not enter for us. Here we gapped down, it came back and then entered, and it was profitable. So that's basically 5 wins, 1 loss. Over here, same scenario, gap down, came up, came back, and it was profitable. That's 6 wins, 1 loss. Over here, there's no entry. Over here, gap down, came up, no trade at all. Over here, this is a trade here, so another winner. I think we're at 6-1. Over here, this entered. This is a winner, 7-1. Here, gap down, came up, filled it, came down, entered. That's 8-1. Here, gap down, came up, never came back down at all. We're still 8-1. Same scenario here, gap down, came up, never entered. FRT, this is a trade we entered, and you can see it was gap down, came down, everything here. This is a trade that was basically here was profitable. So that's 9-1. This is a trade, gap down, never came back that at all to the entry, so no entry. Same scenario, gap down, never came back to the entry after filling the gap. BMI, this is a profitable trade, entered right there, and even got to the target, 9-1. Over here, this is a trade that barely, actually, that didn't get in at all. So that's no trade. This is a trade that came out, filled the gap, went down. That's 9-1. This is another scenario here. That was a winner, 10-1. Over here, opened, gap down, came up, filled, 11-1. PayX, no shade, no trade. This is a shade here. It was bullish, no entry. Over here, this is bearish. Sorry, there was no shade, no trade. No shade, no trade. Remember, our metrics are 11-1 right now, 11 winners, 1 loser. No shade, no trade. Here, no shade, no trade. Here, it's a shade. We entered a trade, so this is profitable. That's 12 winners, 1 loser. No shade, no trade. No shade, no trade. This is no shade, no trade. No shade, no trade. No shade, no trade. No shade, no trade. This one, no shade, no trade. No shade, no trade. No shade, no trade. I think 11 winners and 1 loser, I think, if I counted correctly. Over here, no shade, no trade. Over here, no shade, no trade. Over here, no shade, no trade. So if you look at our results, we basically ended up with 11 winners, if I counted correctly, and 1 loser. That is your statistics here. This is everything at the beginning of the week that we had at TNT, we know. So we had a list going into trading starting at the beginning of last week. So if you have any questions, you could email us at info@eiicapital.com. Please like and share this video so other people can learn about the TNT. And also we do more videos out there for you guys. If you're interested in signing up to get these TNTs and learn how to maximize profits even more, because remember, I'm giving you the worst case trading plan, please send us an email at info@eiicapital.com. Have a good day.